municipal trash and recycling collection, the properties that we go on that are private properties, and there were 15 properties. I would add to that it's more than 15 times a week, because I suspect some of them are 5 times a week, some of them are 7 times a week or whatever, so it's more significant than just 15 stops. I think you recall that there was kind of 2 pieces to that last time. Ben made the motion, which we approved, tonight formally or whatever, on the frequency issue, and we deferred the going on private property thing. I don't believe that we should be trying to make a decision on this tonight. I think it's a complicated thing, but I'd like to have it. When I looked at this list, I gave it some thought, and I have some comments that are, I think, things that I would just like to get out there for people to absorb or whatever, if for no other reason. As I look at this, I think if we're going to continue with going on private property, I think we have to understand what the rationale is. Okay, why are we going on private property using essentially town labor to go in and pull it out, as opposed to the labor of the property owner to push it out? Okay, I don't know what the answer to that, but I think there has to be an answer if you're going to continue that practice. I think the second one is a question, which I don't expect Fred to answer tonight, but I think it's something we need to understand. Do all these properties use official town carts, as is the policy? I suspect there are some, based on my knowledge, that we literally go into sheds and pull stuff out of sheds and throw it into rear loaders and whatever, but that's a question. The third one is, if we continue this practice for these 15, would we entertain adding additional properties going on to, in other words, if you're doing it for these 15, it's back to the rationale and whatever. What does this cost? What's the incremental cost? Is it small stuff? Is it large? And a lot of that may depend whether it's 5 or 7 days, but I think you kind of have to understand that. One of my neighbors, just for what it's worth, I live in Great Boar's Head Ave. It's a private road. It's a gravel road. At one time, I'm told, I've lived there 10 or 11 years, I'm told at one time there was trash collection on Great Boar's Head Ave. It has not existed for the entire period that I've been there. Just for what it's worth, one of my neighbors wheels their carts probably the equivalent of, must be 100 yards or more.
I've seen it there plenty of times.
Yeah, to get to the bottom of the hill. So then that raises the question. Don't get me wrong, I'm not pushing to get my trash picked up. I'm perfectly happy to throw it in my truck and take it to the transfer station. But how do you, the rationale, from what I'm told, secondhand information, for stopping it on Great Boar's Head Avenue was safety or whatever. Right. So I guess my point is there is some precedent for stopping it that that goes back to the past, and then it's back to, if you do these 15, what's the rationale? How do you tell other people no? And those are just things that I think we're going to have to roll around in order to make a decision.
I think part of the answer to that question is we're going to inspect each one and find out why. Because I think we need to know that.
And there's a lot of input that has to come in here, so this isn't going to be anything that's going to be solved here without getting a lot of comment from the public.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. One more question while you're on that, if I may, Mr. Chairman. I noticed you got Depot Square there. If our trucks go around the road on Depot Square, we're already on the third party's private property.
Well, trash is picked up because it's a public health problem.
Okay.
Okay, and this when we pick up trash, we're picking up putrescible waste, which is garbage.
Right.
It's all mixed together. It doesn't. We go down private roads to do that. Taylor River Estates, for instance, is a private road. We go down that road to pick it up. There are
that piece of paper that you just had there.
some private roads in the town that we also go down, but the materials are placed out of the curb and we pick them up there.
And now the private road, though, at the Depot Square, isn't that all private around the whole square?
Yes, so is Taylor River Estates, and so is several others in town that we pick up from.
But that's a condominium association, whatever they call it, owns that. They all own that together, whereas Depot Square, it's owned by a third party. That's unrelated.
Well, not the whole square. There are several.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, I do, but we're not going to solve. I mean,
There's a lot for what we're talking about here.
I appreciate it being raised, but we're not going to solve anything.
And there's many, many other pieces than these 15, I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
It
So,
goes beyond those.
yes, there's a lot more, so it's not entering new people. There's many, many people more on it than that. I don't think that this is something that we need to discuss here without having public hearings into this.
This is just beginning.
Yeah, this is nothing.
So
There's
what-
many more, I could tell you 10 that are on more than that.
So I guess the question becomes then, what is the...
It's all about picking up the commercial trash. Is that the point you're trying to make?
Yeah.
Because if that's the point, we need to really let people know about it and get them in here, because guess what? They'll be coming in here. We've been to this rodeo
I
before.
think the question is that we deferred this particular issue last time, and the question is, what is the next step?
The next step is to not do anything until we can get a large amount of people to come in here, and it will be during...
I think there's an interim step.
I don't agree with you.
Well,
I've
why don't you hear
seen
what
this
my-
well, I've heard you
you hear
come
what
over
my-
and over and over again. You raise this point all the time, and I don't think it's fair to do it at this time of the year. But go ahead and let's hear what yours, because you've been here
My interim
before.
step is precisely what Fred said, is to get information on these 15 sites as to why we're going on those properties.
Okay, well, like I said, there's a lot more than what's there.
This is what Public Works provided. So I know some of the properties that I had questioned, because I knew we went on other properties, have been discontinued because they're now using their own dumpsters. There's
Yeah.
a couple of those. I'm not sure the list is complete. We haven't delved into it. I asked them for the list. When the list came forward, I wanted to give it to the board so you would have some information. I'm not prepared to talk about it because I haven't gone out and looked at them myself.
I don't see any reason to discuss this until we discuss the bigger group that are at the beach, because there are so many more at the beach that are on this list that aren't on that list. So why just deal with these people when it's a bigger, greater problem? And when it starts, there'll be plenty of people down here to fill this room, just like there has been every other time.
So
we
what
can't
is-
do it at this time of the year.
That's fine. I'm not advocating that we do it now. I'm just asking, what do you perceive as the next step?
If you want to raise this again like you do every spring, then do it again when the people are
Oh,
here.
Rick, come on, you're making all this stuff personal. I mean,
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I really feel that way. We've been here so many times. You've already done this over and over again. You don't like the result you get, and now we're here again.
we have a proposal from the DPW director to eliminate going on private property.
Okay,
deferred
we need
that-
to discuss
Rick, can
it.
I finish? Jesus. We decided to defer that last week. I'm not anxious to run out and do something tonight or next week or 2 weeks from now, but I am looking for us to address it, and I believe additional information is required in order to intelligently address that. So my request would be is that, one, we ask Fred to do his best to create a complete list, okay? And number two, to get an understanding of what the rationale is for going on these properties. That's my request.
I disagree with you. I say that this is a bigger issue that affects everyone at the beach, and this is where you're trying to go with it, because I've seen it over and over and over again.
I'm not.
Well, I disagree with you. I challenge you to that's what you've tried to do over and over again, and I think we need to bring this up and deal with it when there's all these people that are going to be affected are here. I don't see any purpose just to go in with these few people that are down on this list, because the list is wrong. We're going to deal with these people, and then you're going to get a few to take care of it when there's a much bigger issue here.
So then it
The
sounds
same issue
it-
that we
it
faced
sounds
every
like-
other year.
It sounds like it would be appropriate then for you to make a motion, because it sounds like what you're suggesting, as opposed to putting off the decision, which is the way we left it last time, that we table the entire issue of going on private property. It sounds like that's what
You
you're
say what
advocating.
you want to say, but I disagree with your whole way of coming in the back door like you're trying to do here.
Jesus.
Well, I'm sorry. I've seen it too many times.
Mr. Chairman, I think
Keith is the one that brought this up.
Okay, well, then
I
we
think-
need to get Keith in here and talk about this, about how this can't be dealt with until all the people that are affected by it.
well,
This is a partial list. This is not the list of all the people that are affected by it.
Well,
why I
may I
suggest-
suggest that we just have that list, have somebody in Public Works find out why, and we'll have something to begin our thinking at trying to resolve the problem going on private property. Because that is a big problem.
Okay, well, we need to deal with this when when it can be dealt with. When all of the people that are affected have something to do with this.
Well,
There's many people that are affected like this at the beach.
when did you want to bring it up, Mr. Chairman? Because you had all summer to bring it up, and you didn't.
Hey,
Mr. Chairman, may I, it's the hour's late, this is old business.
we're not going to deal
And
with this
it's the
tonight.
holidays coming up, can we move on to the consent agenda and the other item for the bid, please?
We have new business next.